to go hiking, Bella? Just a little bit? Just a little bit? Shall we go out the door? Shall we go for a walk? Should we? Should we go? Should we go? Should we go? All right, let's do it. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Walks with Moss. And look at Bella go. It's been a few days since we've been hiking. It's the day before Thanksgiving, and we are going to go and try to find some mushrooms to have for Thanksgiving dinner. Mostly we'll be looking for chanterelles and candy cabs. But if we found a matsutake, I sure would be happy. Also, I have not found a cauliflower mushroom yet this year. So I'd be extra happy if I found one of those. I'm sure we'll find candy caps. I'm sure we'll find chanterelles. I'm sure we'll have fun. So let's go do this. And here's our first mushroom. Lycaria lucata variety amethystia. It's the same, it's Lycaria lucata that I've shown you before, all those orange ones that were all the same. Well, this is the purple variety of it. But let's get going. Let's head into the candy cap zone. I have discovered that candy caps, at least here, like kind of swampy areas, and every single time I have found them, they have been under a wild filbert tree. So we got a mile or two to walk to get to the swampy candy cap filbert zone. So let's do it and see if we can find anything delicious on the way. Here's the first edible mushrooms that are going to go in our pot. Helvella vespertina. These need to be cooked well. I eat a few of them every year. I started eating them before I read they might be poison. I don't know. I've never had any kind of reaction to them, so I eat them, but I eat them in moderation. And we're going to pass by this spot later, so we will pick these later. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are ones that last well in the basket, so I could pick them now, but I just feel like waiting because we still got at least a mile to go to get to our primary picking destination today. So hopefully I have the energy to pick these when we get back. But if not, it's no big deal because I actually have a whole bunch of those growing in my front yard. Let's keep going. I would so love to find a matsutake back here. Still haven't. I know they grow around here. I know they do, but it's late too. I don't think I've ever actually found good matsutake Thanksgiving week, except for maybe one time in Seebeck, where my daughter took me to a spot with a fairy ring of matsutake. An entire fairy ring of matsutake, and about half of them were still good. I like to have a matsutake broth as a starter for my Thanksgiving dinner. And it's still going to happen this year because I have some matsutake broth that I canned last year. But it sure would be nice if we could find a fresh one out here today, wouldn't it? Here we go, into the woods to look for some filbert trees. We're just about 300 feet from the spot where I've been finding candy caps. I'm going to explore just a slightly different area here today because I feel like I've probably picked most of them in that other area. Oh, here's our first interesting mushroom. This looks like it's going to be some kind of bolete. Let's pick it and see. It's got a skinny stem. What have we got? I do believe this is Zeller's bolete, which has a slightly different name these days. What is it? I don't know. Someday I'll remember it, I guess. It's got the thin red stalk and the yellow pores. I would call it Admiral bolete, which is now called Astroboletus mirabilis. Except the stalk is so skinny, it's making me think Zeller's. But at any rate, this one is way too far gone. So we will leave it be. Beautiful mushroom anyway. We have found our first candy cap mushroom. Here we go. You can tell candy caps by the rough surface that is never slimy and the hollow stem. And then they also bleed a latex that's like skim milk. It's not a really white latex, but often you can't get any latex out of these at all. I'm searching for my knife in my backpack here. Let's see if we can get some latex out of this or another one. So here's a bigger one nearby. You can see the gills are lighter colored than the cap when they're young, and there's no trace of sliminess whatsoever. And the stalk is hollow. Let's see if we can get some milk out of this. Yeah, here comes some milk. And you can see that it's like skim milk. It's not really white. There we have it. That is the candy cap. And you can detect a slight maple smell sometimes even when they're fresh, but there's more of a maple smell when they're dried. But still, I'm not getting as much maple smell out of these as I had hoped. I don't know if it's my drying method or what. I think the maple smell is sometimes just a bit ephemeral, because if I get in my car, I can smell it. But if I smell a mushroom, I don't necessarily smell it. But if I get in my car where I have a bag where I had a mushroom once, I smell it. It's the funniest thing. Anyway, we've got some candy caps here, so let's stop and see how many we can find. These are pretty fragile, so they break up a lot, but that's actually okay because at least the one recipe I've used for them calls for you to break them up. So let's head over here. We've got a bigger one here. Might be too far gone. It really is getting late in the season. Yeah, this one might have some maggots in it, but they will crawl out when I dry it. So we'll take it home anyway. This one doesn't have as rough of a surface, but maybe just because it's older. That one's got a rougher surface. It's definitely not at all slimy, so it's the real deal. It's the candy cap. Just not, I don't know. You know what? This one that's not in that good a condition, I'm going to put it in a separate bag to take home and spread around the filbert tree in my yard. And the ones that are in better condition, I'll put in a different bag for eating. So this is a filbert tree. You can't really see the leaves this time of year, but just look at that spreading habit, how it's got lots of trunks that come up from a central area. And that's your filbert tree. And then here's some leaves on the ground. It'd be nice if I could get some filberts out of these. I don't know how likely you are to ever get wild filberts. The trees probably have to be older, and they won't be able to get that old in a tree farm. So let's keep looking over here. Usually when you find one of these candy caps, you find a lot in the same area. See, here's another one that's too far gone. Here's another mushroom I really love. It's Clavulina corallides. It's a type of coral, and I only started eating it this year. I've been very carefully venturing into the world of coral mushrooms. So far I've eaten this one and a bright orange one I found. I also picked a yellow one, which I keyed out to Ramalina or Ramaria formosa, which you don't want to eat. But I know I'm safe eating these, and these are delicious. I love these. They're kind of small, but they usually grow in big groups. And I've just been really enjoying these this year. When you're picking candy caps, you have to be really careful because there's another mushroom, and I think this is it here. I think this is deadly gallerina. And you don't want to be picking it, obviously. Let's see what iNaturalist says about this. It's growing on wood, and it's got a little ring there. Hell, iNaturalist is saying it's something else, but this is a close enough lookalike to deadly gallerina. Just be careful. Be really careful out there if you're looking for candy caps, because there are these. Well, what are you? Are you deadly gallerina or something else? I don't know. iNaturalist isn't. There it is. Gallerina marginata. And I don't totally trust iNaturalist, but I already knew this was probably gallerina. So there we go. Gallerina marginata, a.k.a. the funeral bell. You eat enough of these, you will probably die without treatment, definitely. So just be careful. Go for the orange mushrooms growing in the dirt, not the brown mushrooms growing in the wood. Here we've come on a little bit bigger patch, thanks Bella, of candy caps. Here we go. And a lot of these are really too far gone, darn it. It's just getting a little bit late in the year. I guess these will go in the spreading the spores bag since I've already picked them. And I should really just stick to these little ones like this, I guess. Here we go. That's a decent one. Even the ones that are kind of far gone, if you pop them in the dehydrator, then all the maggots crawl out of them, but that's pretty gross. This is not a candy cap. Growing right next to the candy caps, but not a candy cap. This is a Lucaria lucata. You can tell by the stem, it's not brittle, it's tough, fibrous, and the gills are quite a bit different. Here's a sneaky mushroom here. At first glance, this looks like a hedgehog, and it's the right time of year for a hedgehog. Could it be a hedgehog? Let's see. Oh, yes, it's a hedgehog. Okay. This is one of my absolute favorite mushrooms to eat. They are so delicious. It used to be called Hydnum ripatum, and maybe it still is. I don't know. It's also quite possible the name has changed. But here they are. Awesome. I have been tricked so many times this year by mushrooms that I thought were hedgehogs and were not. These are fragile. They have to be treated so carefully when they go in the bag. I think I'll put them in the same bag as the candy caps because they're both equally fragile. Now, sometimes these can be bitter as they get older, so I'll do a little nibble and spit test here. No, this one tastes fine. Yay. I've made the mistake of cooking up bitter hedgehogs with a bunch of nice mushrooms and had a whole pan full of bitter mushrooms before. Don't want to make that mistake again, so I always taste the bigger ones. Very cool. I'll keep looking because where there's some, there's usually more of these, and I'm definitely going to mark this on my GPS. What's the matter, sweetheart? You got yourself all tangled up in the brush? Come on, buddy. What are we doing here? What's going on? Oh, it's your tail. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm trying to help you, honey. Okay, if I could break this stick without hurting you, that would really help. Oh, boy. Oh, I'm so sorry, honey. I'm so sorry, honey. I'm trying to help you. Oh, shoot. What am I going to do here? I got to get this stick broken without hurting her somehow. So it'll take the pressure off her tail. Don't bite me. I'm afraid she's going to bite me if I... Oh, sweetheart, what have you done? I got to break the stick off. Don't bite me, honey. Please don't bite me. I'm trying to help you, honey. I'm trying to help you. Please don't bite me. Oh, geez. I've broken it off a little bit more. It's wrapped around her tail somehow, and her leg at the same time. I need to get her foot out of there, but I also don't want to get bit. Oh, buddy, I'm so sorry. Please don't bite me! Don't bite me! Don't bite me! I'm trying to help you! Oh, God. This is awful. Oh, geez, this is awful. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Buddy, I'm trying to help you. I can't even see exactly what the problem is here. It's wrapped around your leg and something else. I gotta get it off of you somehow, but I'm so afraid you're gonna bite me if I... Don't come too close to me! I'm afraid you're gonna bite me! Don't. She's never bitten me before, but there. Okay, I think you're free, honey. I think you're free. Oh my goodness, that was awful. Oh my goodness. Oh, buddy. Oh gosh, that was horrible. I don't know if she'd bite me or not in pain. She was coming towards me. Maybe she was coming towards me for help, you know, but she was in so much pain. Oh, she's happy now, though. All's well that ends well. Isn't that right, buddy? Okay, we're good to go. Wow, that was awful. Okay, buddy. Woo, okay. Back to the mushroom hunting. Wow, okay, you're free. You're free. Yeah, you're free. Yeah, I saved you. Let's go. Oh, Bella has never bit anyone, but I was scared there because she was hurting so bad. So the stick was wrapped around her tail and then caught under her leg. And I think she's okay. I think she's okay. And you know what? I'm going to trim all that hair off her tail, because she's got her tail caught in things before. So yeah, before our next hike, Bella's going to lose all of her tail hair. Here's a conch. I don't know, they keep changing the names of them. It's just called a conch. All right, I don't see any more hedgehogs, but I have marked this area. It was while I was marking the spot with my GPS that I noticed Bella was in trouble. One time she got a big long piece of metal stuck in her tail hair, and I cut her tail hair then too. So I'm just gonna have to start keeping her tail hair really short just as a preventative measure. Normally Springer Spaniels don't even have tails. They dock them, but since she's the field trial variety, she didn't have her tail docked. Here's a little bit of witch's butter. It's starting to pop up here and there, or one of the witch's butters. It's funny, when I took them, yeah, you're okay, buddy, we're good now. When I took a mushroom class, they told us they were Dicromyces palminata, but now none of them are called that here. Maybe they never were, but you need a microscope anyway to get them down to species. Whew, my adrenaline is still going after that. Wow, that was awful. Whew. Just trying to calm down a little bit. Here's a nice big patch of clavulina down there. Whoops, I put my hedgehogs in the bag with the not good candy caps. Okay, sorry about the plastic bag noises. Here is a nice big fruiting of this lovely white coral mushroom that I love to eat, that I just named a minute ago. So hopefully you still remember the name of it, clavulina something or other. I'm gonna grab lots of these. We're definitely getting late in the season. It's to the point where if I want mushrooms to dry or store for the winter, until next fall actually, store for the summer, I should try to pick a lot of them. And these have become one of my favorites. Love these. They're a bit of work to clean, and I always get some pine needles left over in them. I've just come to accept that I'm going to eat a lot of pine needles. You know, pine needles don't taste bad. Maybe they've got some nutritional qualities even, who knows. So I'm just getting used to having pine needles in all my food. My huckleberry jelly, my salal jelly, my mushrooms, and maybe even sometimes my smoked trout. So here we are. I like to fry these up to get the water out, and then fry them in a little butter. They take on the butter flavor nicely. I've mostly actually been having them on pizza, but I might dry some of these. I'm glad I discovered these this year, or finally started eating them. They kind of will help make up for the fact that I haven't found a cauliflower mushroom all year. And maybe that's okay, because often cauliflower mushrooms are so filled with maggots, and I wash them and wash them and wash them, and the more I wash them, the plumper the maggots get, and it gets so disgusting I don't even want to eat the cauliflower mushroom. Not a problem with these. I don't think the bases are even big enough for the maggots to get into. I've never found maggots in these. I always pull the bases off of these and try to get as much dirt as I can off of them in the field. But this is just a dirty mushroom. That's all there is to it. I'm actually going to take all of these clavulina or whatever and put them in their own bag because they're so dirty. I don't want them mixed in with my hedgehogs. Once you get dirt in the spines of a hedgehog, you can't really clean it. The hedgehog spines just break off. Still just finding tons of these. This is great. I might feel differently when it comes time to clean them at home, but for now, I'm really happy to have all of these. I'm so glad I branched out into coral mushrooms this year. I'll do more next year, especially in the spring, because apparently the one coral out here that can cause digestive upset doesn't grow in the spring. I read one rule of thumb is to avoid any yellow tipped corals in the fall. That's what I've been doing, but you know, color is subjective, and I had to do a lot of research to realize what they were actually calling yellow, to know that, yeah, one of the mushrooms I found probably was yellow. and was probably the Romeria formosa. I looked under the microscope and the spores were the right size too, and the right shape and everything. So that's probably what that was. Surprised I'm not finding that many candy caps here right now, but yeah, because there's a, no, I don't know if that's a filbert. Yeah, no, there's the filbert leaves. See, not every filbert tree is going to have the candy caps growing around it. And I found the ones that are growing next to little rivulets, little seasonal creeks, tend to have more. Let's get out of this area just a little bit. And then when I want to find chanterelles, I'll get up a little bit out of the swampy area and into the less swampy area, because that's where the chanterelles are going to be back here. I've got 2 track logs going, one on my GPS and one on my phone. I get really turned around when I'm hunting mushrooms. Even though I spend so much time in the woods, I still just tend to get totally turned around hunting mushrooms. Check out this old growth remnant log. Looks like it's one they just cut down and left to be. They must not have wanted it. Must not have had commercial value. We got tons of Lucaria lucata down here. Not candy caps. I think I'll go a little bit closer to my old candy cap zone, even though I feel like I've scoured it pretty thoroughly. I still think I might have better luck there than I will back in here. Here's a swampy area with some nice moss. This moss is called Polytrichum commune. It's one of the tallest mosses we have around here. It's so tall it can look kind of like little trees. And it actually has maybe just a little tiny bit of vascular tissue for conducting water, which moss generally don't have. Generally they conduct water by their leaves, by wicking the water up. But this one actually does have a little central stem, and it can pull water up a little bit, which it has to be able to do to be this tall. Here we go. We found another filbert tree and some more candy caps. Yay! Please don't be too far gone. Oh, yeah, that's a bit far gone. I should probably just pick the smaller ones. Everything is so sogged out. Yeah. There's probably even some bacterial infection going on with these. So I won't be keeping these, but maybe I can find some smaller ones that are in better shape. Here we go. Got one of these. I bet this one's still in good shape. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to limit myself to picking the really small ones, the very, very young ones. Yeah. I think I want the ones where the gills are still really light colored. So that's definitely going to limit my selection here today because it's later in the season. But that's okay. Nope. How about this one here? Yep, that's a good one. Yep, I'm going to pick these, or keep these based on the gill color. I want these lighter colored gills. Nope. See, it's got some rot going on there. Don't want that one. Here we go. Here's a bigger one that's still got light colored gills. It's quite striate at the edges, meaning you can see the gills from above. It's got that nice light color. But right here growing next to it is more Galerina marginata funerabels. Don't pick those. No, no, no. You're in for a very bad time if you eat those. Here's a filbert tree with no candy caps going around it, but it's got another really cool mushroom, which I don't know if I ever even found before this year, that's growing underneath it. This is a funny, slimy mushroom. This is called Leotia lubrica because it's so slimy. Apparently it's probably edible, but it's so insignificant, it's not worth bothering with. Plus, I think it's kind of rare. So, we'll leave these be. Leota lubrica. Very, very slimy. Easy to see how it got its name. You noticed in the video when Bella was yelping when I was helping her with her tail. Every time she let out a cry, some ravens nearby answered her. I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't point it out at the time because I was too busy trying to free Bella. Ravens are so smart. Here's another filbert tree with no candy caps, but ton of Leucaria laccata growing up all around it. It's kind of funny. I had to check a few of them to be sure, but they're definitely not candy caps. Now let's go over here. I see some more filbert trees off in this direction. Wouldn't it be nice if I could find a cauliflower mushroom growing out of one of these stumps? I'm keeping an eye out for them. I just did a circle. It's really true. If you don't pay attention, you will do circles in the woods. That's fine. I've got my GPS, and I'll be fine. But I did not realize I was doing a circle. I thought I was over that way somewhere. I thought I was way over that way. But instead, no, I've just circled around this. So, wow. I'm still going to go back in the same direction I came, but I'll try not to repeat my exact circle here. That would be kind of crazy. Not going to find anything if I repeat my circle, am I? I am so turned around, it's insane. Without my track log and my phone to guide me, I would have no idea which direction I was headed. Kind of frightening how turned around I get out here. But I had my directions exactly opposite. Exactly opposite. But that's okay. I got my track logs to get me out of here. Not finding as many candy caps as I would have hoped. I'm going to go in a little bit different direction once I get back out to the road and get my bearings. Check out where we are. We've made another circle. Deja vu. I have circled around this swamp a bunch of times now. How crazy is that? Okay, we're gonna go on the trail now and then enter the woods from a different direction. This is crazy. I've made at least 2 complete circles out here. The best thing to do to avoid walking in circles when you're off trail is consult with your GPS or your phone track log frequently, and then pick a tree and walk to it. So if I know I want to go that way, I'll pick a tree in the distance and head straight to it. Then when I get to that tree, pick another tree in the same line and walk straight to it, and just keep repeating that. And then that will keep me from walking in circles. That's what you do when you try to follow a compass bearing as well. You mark something in the distance and walk to it, and then get out your GPS, look at your compass line again, and then mark something else in the distance. Here's a beautiful Amanita muscaria. It has rained so much that it's lost all of its spots, and it's just got an orange cap. These are a good sign. Sometimes there's king boletes when you find these. There's some more Clavaria, but I'm not going to pick it because there's just too much garbage back here. It's too gross. But we'll wander back in here just a little bit further. There's a spot right back here where I found one of the biggest fruitings of chanterelles that I have found this year. And it's possible more of them have come back. Those would all be too soggy by now. But there could be more. Yes! I think some more grew. That or I left behind the little ones. I don't remember. But here's one that's small enough that I think it's still going to be okay. The chanterelles that came up at the beginning of the season now are all slimy and just too far gone. But they're still growing. You can still get some good ones. They'll keep growing until the first frost. Cantharellus formosa, Pacific golden chanterelle. This is the exact spot where I was before, so now I'm kind of thanking myself for leaving some behind. I didn't know if I'd ever come back. Now this one's too far gone. It's gonna get bacterial infections and stuff. It's a little bit soggy and it's getting kind of brown and slimy up here. We'll leave that behind. But I think there's a couple little ones here that are still going to be good. This one's nice and solid. Beautiful. Beautiful little chanterelle button. This one looks good too. Yep. Yay. We are going to have fresh chanterelles for Thanksgiving dinner. I never had any doubt we would, though. Now look at that one. Definitely don't want to eat that. That's disgusting. Gotta really pick and choose and be careful now with these. I have canned so many chanterelles. I'm going to have chanterelles for years at this rate. But it's nice to not have to get into my canned ones just yet and have some fresh ones. These will go in my stuffing and in my gravy, and maybe even I'll throw a few in the pot and roast them directly with my turkey. I bet those will taste good. There's a few more back in there, but they look a bit too far gone. Here's another one that looks like it might be okay. Yeah, it feels solid. It's a good one. These need to be eaten up right away, though, because it is just so wet out here. They won't last long. They won't store well at home when they're this wet. Oh, look at this. Most of these are not purple yet. Most of these are good picking. Awesome. This is one of the bigger patches of this stuff I've found. I'm going to just pull off the purple stuff. I think the later in the season it gets, the more parasites these have, because the parasites just, I think, grow up on them as they start to go off. Put those in the bag, and we're going to be here for a while. There is just so much of this here. Wow. I'm going to have fun cleaning these. I almost think it's easier to dry these down just a little bit before you wash them, because that, I think, helps some of the dirt and pine needles fall out of them. And then I try to get them as clean as I can out here in the field too, by popping the bottom off. Wow, look at all of these. Very cool. Look at this monster. It's so big it could almost be the Romaria one, but I think we'll find the base is not big and fat. Yeah, see, it doesn't have the thick fat base, so it's still our Clavaria, but that's a big fruiting of it. I don't know if I trust this one though. It's getting pretty purple, but it's dark to see here in the woods. Let's shine a light on it and see how purple it is. Yeah, it might be okay. I'm going to go ahead and take that home, and I'll make my final decision when I get it home. Or not. No, it's too purple. It's too purple. You can see the white base and then the purple going up it. I think I'll leave this one. I think this one's too far gone. It's too purple. It's just hard to tell in this light. Here's one that's not purple, though. Here's a good one. Look at the difference. Yeah, I'll leave that big purple one alone. Let's take this little white one. Here's a fun little mushroom. It might be in the same family, the Clavaria. I don't know much about it. There's lots of them here. Even if these were edible, though, I don't think I'd bother. There's just not enough of them. I really thought I'd find more candy caps than this today, because the last time I was out here, I had to leave because I ran out of time, not because I ran out of mushrooms to pick. Here's some chanterelles. They look pretty soggy, but you can check them out anyway. This one is probably okay. It's a little soft, but it's not turning brown. It's just soggy. So I'll probably go ahead and grab this one, but maybe be pickier after this because it's not going to last long. See that you can almost squeeze the water out of it there. It's just been so wet here. It's just rained and rained and rained. I think this might be the patch that I recorded where I was like, no, don't pick the chanterelles, don't pick the chanterelles. You must stop picking chanterelles because your pack is so full. Be interesting to see how that patch is doing now. I think this is it. Here's some blue ribbon. So somebody even marked this as their patch once upon a time. Yeah, I think there's a few here. Oh yeah, there's a few here to grab. This is actually an entirely new chanterelle patch, and this will be a place to watch on years when there aren't a lot of chanterelles because they might grow here even on a bad year. There's so many of them here. So conflicted. This is a nice one. It's so close to being pickable, but nah, I'm gonna leave it behind. I've got enough. Here we are. We're back in the candy cap zone. Yay! I don't think I'll take that one. It's a little too dark, but I'll take this one. And maybe some of these over here. I've ended up on the wrong side of a swamp from where I want to be. And I'm having to go way off course to get around this swamp. It's going to take me a while to get out of these darn woods today. And I am cold and I'm starting to get clumsy. This is not a fun area to walk in, but I'm almost through here. I'm going to come out at an area where I made a track log before. We made it out of those hideous woods and we're nowhere near where we went into the nice woods, but we are on a road and I've been here before and I have a track log, so we'll get out of here. I'm not sure how long we have to walk to get home, but I'm getting my GoPro charged because apparently it can't run with less than 30% battery when it's cold. And I'm having a hot cup of coffee. Cheers. We have come out on a road that is actually going to be a very long way to get home. I normally actually take my bicycle when I come out this far. I could crash back through the brush and try to find the other way out, but I think I'll just walk on the road. I've had enough brush crashing for today. And we should still be able to get out of here before dark. And we are in an area where I very recently found king boletes, so we may as well look for those while we're here. Well, what do you know? It's the king. Fingers crossed it's not too far gone. I've been back here twice to check for kings since I first found them here and didn't find any, so I didn't expect to find any today. Oh, it feels solid! It feels solid! It feels solid. Well, what do you know? Hello, king bolete. King boletes are now on our Thanksgiving menu. Yeah, this is cool. This is so cool. Look at that, it's in good shape too. It's in great shape. Okay, this makes up for any extra miles we have to walk to get home now. King bolete, yeah. I'm tempted to just leave the pores behind here because they're so heavy and I don't like eating the pores, but you know, it doesn't look buggy. I think I'll take it home and dry it. Yeah! Wow, well, let's keep looking back in this bush. We may be getting home after dark. That's okay, I got my headlamp. Great big patch of chanterelles, and some of them look good, but we got so far to walk now to get home. By coming out where we did, it's going to be about 3 extra miles to get home. I could turn around and go back and crash through the brush again, but I don't feel like it. I'm tired and I'm cold and I'm getting clumsy, so we'll just walk out the long way and it'll be okay. There'll still be plenty of time to go home and make pumpkin pie tonight and turn my turkey over. I'm brining my turkey right now. but it doesn't totally fit in the pot I'm brining it in, so I'm going to brine it for 8 hours and then turn it over and brine it another 8 hours. And then tomorrow, Thanksgiving morning, I'm going to take it out and smoke it for no more than half an hour, and then I'm going to pop it in the oven, and it should be delicious. I'm passing lots of chanterelles here, but I don't need any extra weight to carry. I wanted to go up South Mountain for my turkey burn, but I just called Green Diamond, and you can't get to South Mountain anymore unless you can win the lottery and then pay $400 for a motorized access permit. You have to win the lottery because there's very few of those permits, and then it costs $400 if you do get one, and I'm not paying $400 for a motorized access permit. So if I ever want to go up South Mountain again, I'm going to have to park at the start of the old evacuation route and then ride my bicycle to South Mountain and go up it that way, and that's not a day hike for me. That makes me sad. I really loved going up South Mountain. It was my after Thanksgiving Day tradition. I kind of looked forward to it more than Thanksgiving even, my South Mountain turkey burn. But it's not going to happen again unless I add a whole bunch of bicycle miles to that route. And this isn't the time of year to do that. The sun's going to set at 4:15. We are most definitely going to be hiking out of here in the dark. The sun sets in 10 minutes. But that's okay because we have a king bolete. That's all that really matters, right? No, not this slimy thing. You know what? I'm not going to keep this slimy thing after all. Let's just keep this king bolete. It's worth it. It'll be worth it. The sun sets in 10 minutes, and we are at least 20 minutes from the car. But it's worth it. Look at that. That makes it all worthwhile. Time to prepare for some night hiking. Wow, it's been quite a while since I've got caught after dark unintentionally, but it is definitely something that happens to me from time to time. So I'm prepared. I always have my headlamp. Sunset today is at 4:26. How crazy is that? We are back to the spot with the elephant saddles. They don't seem so tempting now that I've got a king bolete, but I'll go ahead and grab them anyway. I can cook them up and then dehydrate them and then have them in my soup on my hikes for the however long they last. A lot of them here. Seems like it was an extra good year for these. Yep. These you need to cook well. Yep. What's the matter, Bella? What do you want, honey? What do you want? What do you want? Why are you pawing me, Bella? Why are you pawing at me? You ready to go home? You know we're close to the car, don't you? Yeah. Okay, so here's a nice little handful of elephant saddles. I think I'll just put them in the pocket of my hoodie. I'm down to my last plastic bag, so in go the elephant saddles. And these are tough mushrooms, so they can just go in my front pocket, and they will be good. Okay, let's get out of these dark woods. Bella, you ready to go home, honey? You ready to go home? You ready to get in the car and go home? Yeah, you are. Thanks for watching our Thanksgiving mushroom hunting session today. We've got mushrooms to go in the gravy and the stuffing, and then that king bolete. I'm going to cook that tonight, and then tomorrow I'm going to serve that as a side dish. King bolete side dish. That would be a good new Thanksgiving tradition. Bella is fine. She recovered just fine from her tail issue. I think just her hair was being pulled. That's why she was hurting. Now I don't know how to label this because I'm going to label it Thanksgiving mushroom hunt, but at the same time, the most significant thing really that happened on this hike was Bella's tail hair getting pulled. So I don't know if there's a way to incorporate that into the title or not. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this hunt, and if you celebrate the Harvest Festival, I hope you have a good one. I don't pay any attention to the indigenous people and the pilgrims narrative. I just consider it to be a harvest festival. It's fall, everything's in season. Let's celebrate the harvest before we really settle into the longest, darkest, most dreary days of the year. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.